get right to it. Special treat for us here as we knew we'd have Magic Johnson in studio, the legend.
Yeah.
But what we didn't know was we were going to have him a lot longer because Magic, well, you know what? If you're on time, you're late. Magic early. And because of it, he said, let me come in and talk to the guys now. So welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Keyshawn told me be in the car at 7:45. I'm an on-time cat. So, I jumped in the car at 7:35. So
I don't think he has to take his leave from me at all.
Well, no, you did tell me. I do want to reveal that he did tell me, though, that you were a very good tenant at one time. He was a landlord for you?
That's right. He owned the building, so I had my Starbucks in his building. Yeah. And Keyshawn, the brother, we go way back. And I watched him at SC. He came to the Laker games, watched me at the Forum. We hung out. We ran the city at the same time.
I don't want to say that.
Oh, I need some stories, man. I need some stories.
No, I was learning from Magic. Let's just put it that way. I was following his lead.
and all the way, too, Jay. He followed me in all directions.
And that's what great point guards do. They are leaders. So
yes, they do.
What can I say?
Yes, they do.
But, he had the #1 restaurant. Reign in the city. He became an astute businessman and my friend, and so we always support each other. So when this happened, he got his show with Jay and Zubin. I said, "Oh, I got to come in," and then COVID hit.
Yeah,
and then I'm going on vacation tomorrow. So I knew I was going to be in the city. So I called. See, he had to call me. I called and asked him, "Can I come on the show?"
Well, we know it's Key ESPN in the morning.
Yeah.
You know how it works here.
Yeah.
He is the president and program director as well. But it is great to have you.
Self-nominated, by the way. I just want you to know.
It is. But Magic, if I could ask you, there's a million things to ask about what we saw in the playoffs this weekend. But first and foremost, because of the level that you were at points in your career where you were a champion, and there were times where the Lakers didn't get all the way, and there were disappointments. The question that is being asked, not just in New York, but around the country about the Brooklyn Nets and what they put together and not getting to the promised land this season after building a big three with the talent that they have, when you view them, do you view them as a disappointment?
No, because of circumstances, right? If they would have had all three guys playing and then get bounced out in the second round, then a disappointment. But because Kyrie couldn't play, Harden, not really himself. But I tell you what, we did see a glimpse of what it could possibly be, right? Because Kevin Durant, I tell you, he just put on a show. Then I would say yes. But also, too, let's give Milwaukee a lot of credit. To go on the road in Brooklyn, hostile environment, everything stacked against them. Giannis stepped up this postseason. He was a different Giannis. When pressure came before, he would fold, right? Mm-hmm. This year, he didn't do that. He actually enjoyed being in a pressure situation. And then he had a running mate, Middleton. It reminded me of Shaq Kobe. Shaq could take you to the fourth quarter. Kobe was the closer. Middleton actually closed the game for the Milwaukee Bucks. And P.J. Tucker, see, those little guys make a big difference. You know what he brought? Nastiness to Milwaukee. They were nice guys before. That's why they would always lose. Tucker brought a toughness to the team. Reminds me like a Oakley or, somebody like that, Rodman, who brings that toughness and also high basketball IQ. He made a difference, and Drew Holiday made a difference too as well. So great job by the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis deserves a lot of credit moving on. I thought the coach did a wonderful job as well. And so let's see what happens next season for Brooklyn. The problem with Brooklyn is this. They're going to need some really good role players. The ones they have now is not going to help them win a championship. So they got to get guys who who can really fill a role and bring something to the table. Let's look at Phoenix. Great role players, right? The Clippers, really good role players. You look at those type of teams, even yesterday with Atlanta, Kevin Huerter. Who would have ever thought he'd come in and score, 27 points? Right. And so they have really good role players. So that's the one thing I think Brooklyn has to trade for or sign this offseason, get some role players that can a tough guy down low that can give him second shots.
I thought Tucker would be a great fit there, and they didn't end up getting Tucker, but he had been a great fit
he
there.
Would, oh,
but
awesome
you imagine,
fit.
I mean, you see it happen everywhere. You saw it in Miami. You got 3 stars like that, you get some guys on discount because they'll know I got a chance to win a title. I'll take less to play with these guys.
No question about it. And I might get a second or third contract. See, always remember that comes into play too. So once you win the championship, look what happened with the Lakers. They win, KCP gets another deal. Caruso. I tell you, that guy, Alex Caruso, would fit good with Brooklyn. A guy, see, a two-way player. He's over 40, he was 42% from the three-point line. He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And so you got to have guys like that.
Yeah, they lost Dinwiddie, remember, to the ACL. Yeah. He would have been a huge piece for them off the bench behind Kyrie.
He probably could have helped them in that series, right?
Now he opted out. So
well, it's a smart move because he can get more money, and now he has control of his own destiny, right? Wherever he wants to go, he knows that he's in control of that. That was a smart move. He should have did that.
But Magic, I wanted to ask you, is there any validity to the fact that this went down to a Game 7, a final clutch shot by KD that he happened to miss after he made one in regulation, with James Harden being hobbled, barely being able to move, and Kyrie not being on the floor, and Joe Harris not hitting the side of the barn? Like, doesn't that still give you a lot of confidence in the upside of what the Brooklyn Nets can do next year?
Oh, no question about it, Jay. I think that Brooklyn will be the favorite again, but also, too, Jay, you always learn from defeat, right? So you have to look at your team and say, okay, where can I get better? What do I have to do to put some players around the big three? And so what I always do, I break down every team and why they lost, right? So to the point you just said, Joe Harris didn't play well. So you think Joe Harris going to play well next season, right? So you have to look at those type of things. And if I'm Brooklyn, I'm saying maybe I really don't need another scorer, Jay. I trade Joe Harris for something that I really need, right? Montrezl Harrell would be good for them, right? A guy that just – I don't need the ball. I go get all the rebounds and second shots. I bring energy and fire. You need guys like that. You don't need another guy that needs the ball, Jay. That's not going to help you win the championship. And this is what's another problem they have with Joe. He can't defend. So if you're not
scoring,
hitting threes and you can't defend, he can't help you win. So I would look to say, hey, let me trade him. Bring in a guy, whether that's a big man, whether that's a guard, whatever it is that you need. But let me say that the GM for the Brooklyn Nets have been doing a fabulous job. And he will bring in the right pieces. He's already done that with the big three. So now just look for those role players who can take you over the top.
More pieces, certainly more building to be done, but you have your core, no doubt about it.
That's right.
Magic Johnson, the Hall of Famer, the legend, joins us in studio, giving us a Straight Talk, brought by Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. Fortunately enough, we have Magic for at least the next, what would you say, about 40 minutes?
My boss told me, Keyshawn Johnson said, Magic, come and handle this business. Now, I got
here as long as he'll let you.
Hey, he was my landlord, so now,
But that's
great tenant. Starbucks and Magic Johnson, great tenant.
Rent was always on time.
More with Magic coming up next. Keyshawn, J. Will, Zubin, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM, Channel 80.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin.
Let's take everybody else that's viewing now doesn't, but everybody knows who our guest is, and that's Magic Johnson, the Hall of Famer. Joins us right now in studio. Been with us for a little bit here. And Magic, I said something that the guys, Key didn't. right? Didn't you? You gave me some stuff about this. We were talking about nicknames, and I said the greatest nickname in sports is Magic Johnson. You said that's not a nickname, that's his name.
That's his name.
Am I wrong? Like
that's
that?
Magic is his name.
Like that?
That's his, I get
believe
mom
it's
and dad
Irvin.
called him Irvin, and that's on the birth certificate. But Magic is his name. But if Magic
The
walked
definition
up,
of a nickname is somebody gave it to you, and it's not your real
if
name.
Magic walked up anywhere in this country and go, "Hey, I'm Irvin Johnson," they look at him and be like, "No, you Magic Johnson." That's just, that's the real talk.
Because Magic had that magic.
And that
That's why.
happened too. So I got this deal, with my partner Mike in Florida. So they said, okay, you got to meet each other on the phone. He's trying to do a Medicaid, Medicare business. Okay, so they set us up. So I introduced myself. Hi, Mr. Fernandez. This is Irvin, and he said, okay. And when's Magic getting on the phone?
See, that's what I'm saying.
and so he didn't know.
That seems like a game show trick.
And so, hey, but he's okay. We had a business. We bought one for $20 million and sold it for $900 million.
Okay,
so,
that's pretty
hey,
good.
Mike, you can call me whatever.
Call me whatever you want.
Magic, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But the greatest, if you want to call it a nickname, that's by far.
I know, Keyshawn, tell him my other name that only the Laker guys in L.A.
Buck.
That's it.
Buck, yeah.
That's it.
That was
So,
early on.
Anytime I see my teammates, even today.
Kareem gave you that?
It used to be, they used to call me the Young Buck.
Right.
Yeah, the Young Buck.
Norm, Silk, Jamal
all
Wilkes,
of them when you first came in the league.
So then they just cut it down to Buck.
Yeah.
Even when I see my teammates today, they don't call me Irvin, they don't call me Magic. What's up, Buck? How you doing? And so that's a beautiful thing, just to have.
I wasn't a teammate, but I feel like it. That's why I say Buck.
You always, still today.
Yeah,
Well,
You
he
were
does
off the
say
court
we
teammate,
a
Key.
lot when he's talking
You were off
about
the court
right, Jay?
teammate. Off the court teammate.
Off
Key.
the court teammate.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's my boy,
But he does say we a lot when talking to Lakers. It's Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. All guys join us on the Goodyear Hotline. And so let's discuss Key's Lakers, if we could.
And Magic's Lakers.
Well,
I'm going to always be a Laker.
right.
You should probably start the other way, Alan. You should go Magic's Lakers.
Yeah, start that way, man. Magic's Lakers,
Yeah.
and Key wants them to be his Lakers.
With that in mind, Key also wants every good player to join the Lakers at this point. Anytime there's somebody disgruntled quickly, he'll say, well, he can come to L.A. Like that's always his thing.
We'll take him.
But when you look at this season, and look, we've had injuries galore, right? Like that's been a big topic about the playoffs and about the season, is that it's really been amazing. We just talked about Brooklyn and their injuries. But Anthony Davis and his groin issue, LeBron had the high ankle that he ended up trying to play through in the playoffs. They don't get out of the first round to defend their championship. Right. Do changes need to be made with that team, or do they just need to start next season healthy and they should be a championship contender?
No, we got to make changes. Rob got some work to do. Again, in that playoff series against the Suns, see, things get explained to you when you watch a series and play in a series. Okay, so you said AD didn't play. Okay, Kuzma, this is your chance. Okay, Schroeder, this is your chance. Gasol, this is your opportunity. Montrez, this is your opportunity. Who stepped up for the Lakers? Not one of them stepped up. They had the opportunity, they had the minutes, they had the shots. So we have to now say, okay, what do we have to do to surround AD and LeBron with guys that can help us now win a championship? Because the West is better. Okay,
next year even better.
We won the bubble championship. Okay, but when we came back this season, we said, okay, who's going to be the threat to the Lakers? Well, we found out that Utah is serious. The Phoenix Suns doing what they're doing right now. Right, Denver going to be back because Murray will be back. Right, and they all are young, so we got to get some better role players wherever that is. And the trades that Rob's going to have to make, and or players that I guess we can only sign one guy to the mid-level.
Right.
But, the Lakers got to get a little better. And if they do that, they're going to be fine. We missed Danny Green. We didn't know that until he went to Philadelphia, because one thing Danny could do was stretch the floor, and he can defend. And so LeBron needs a guy that can shoot threes, and so does AD, because it opened up the floor for both of them.
So what is the first, what are the needs then? If your core is 2 players, are you looking at it as this is a 2-player core, right?
Right.
And everybody else is expendable?
Right.
Fair to say?
Right.
So
Everybody.
With that in mind, what fits the best around those guys?
Well, again, is first you got to find out who's available in terms of whether that's trade or mid-level. And Rob would have to do his homework and will do his homework. Jeannie Buss wants to win. Mm-hmm. The Laker fans said, hey, everybody get a pass this year, okay? You won the championship last year, so you got a pass, okay? Laker fans, they're going to be okay. But you don't get a pass next season. See, everybody got to remember, this is the Lakers. We're used to winning championships. So now find out who's available. I know Kuzma right now look like he's already checked out and saying, hey, he's going to be traded. So we'll see what happens there. You got to find out what's going to happen with Alex Caruso as well, who is very good at his role.
You like him as a fit, though?
I like Alex Caruso. Listen, man, he's the best defender we got, right? Wow. Because that guy can guard guards. So you have to make a decision there, because I think he's an unrestricted free agent or a restricted free agent, one or the other. So you got to make a decision there. And so I think it's time for them to just look at another guy that can shoot threes. What have we seen in the playoffs? Every team got 2 or 3 shooters.
Oh, it's huge. Deadly. Yeah.
Okay,
look at the Hawks. The Hawks alone are that team.
That's right.
That's how they're doing what they're doing.
I was trying to draft Kevin Huerter. And Atlanta took him right before we were picking. And so, but give LeBron and AD a shooter, and also tell AD he's going to have to play more center now.
Exactly.
You can't allow him to say, hey, man, I don't want to play center. No. First of all, you with the Lakers, we're trying to win. And for me, I would move LeBron back down now.
To the 4.
We're asking him to do too much. Mm-hmm. You can't ask LeBron to be the point guard. That means you working hard. You're bringing the ball up. You're getting everybody into the offense. When can LeBron rest? See, you got to understand, we want LeBron fresh for the playoffs. So let somebody else bring it to him, and then let him.
Isn't that what Dennis Schroeder was supposed to be?
We're not going to talk about that.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, man, because you said a couple weeks ago the mentality, the Laker mentality. Is that what they need? They need somebody that think like the Laker?
That's right.
That have that mentality?
Yeah, because you can't have your point guard in the biggest game on the road in Phoenix take, 9 shots, whatever it was, and not score a point. You just can't have that. Not in L.A. You can't have that.
Yeah.
And I think that he doesn't play to the speed. He's really good at coming around that pick and roll and changing speeds on you and getting to the basket. But I think that we need some help there. And so we need guys who understand what it means and what it takes to be a Laker.
Yeah, every since as I can remember, for the most part, Laker championship teams had point guards that understood, whether it was Derek Fisher when he handled the ball, whether it was you, and he, even to a degree with Nicky V, they didn't win a championship, but he kind of understood how to rock with the point guard position and score points.
That's right.
So,
hey, Magic, can I ask you this?
Yes.
If CP3 doesn't win a world championship for Phoenix, he declined that option, right, for $44 million, if he intends to decline it. Can he be a piece for the Laker organization?
No question about it. Listen, I would tell Jeannie I would add some money to get CP3, you know, because it'll be perfect for LeBron, it would be perfect for AD, and be perfect for the role players. What has Chris Paul done for the Phoenix Suns? Ayton, we didn't see this Ayton until Chris Paul got there,
the game
right?
easier for him, right?
The Bridges, all these guys, he makes the game so easy, and you're going to get shots that you've never gotten before, right? Because you got a guy who's a pass-first point guard. And then what I love about Chris Paul this year, he's saying, okay, fourth quarter, Give it to
fouls.
You got to draw. Wait,
what does that have to do with getting points, Keith?
Because if I go to the cup, at some point they're going to foul me and I'm getting an and one. And I'm confident about my free throw ability.
But wait, never mind that.
But
How
what
are
does
you
that
drawing
do
a
with you
foul in
getting
an
6
NBA
fouls?
game?
Because I'm going to go to the cup and somebody's going to touch me and the ref going to go, that's Keyshawn, foul. I would be able to get the treatment. That's how
You would get star treatment?
Absolutely, 100%.
Jay.
I love that.
Right?
I love
Jay.
that.
100%.
See Magic all the time. This is what I can't.
I'm going to get that foul, Jay. Foul, number 32, push it in the back.
I know Key had to wear a helmet, but his facial expressions on the court would just be, I mean, that would be like a sports documentary, right?
Hey,
like,
man. Hey, Jay, I understand Ben Simmons is struggling and stuff like that, but it's all about that confidence, man. And mental and that confidence. Think about this, though. What if the Sixers kept Jimmy Butler instead and got rid of Ben Simmons? Where would they be?
Well, it's two things that they probably looking at it now and saying, man, and that's keeping Jimmy, but also not trading for James
Harden, and that was
James
Ben
Harden.
Simmons is what reportedly the Rockets wanted.
That's right. They wanted Ben. They didn't want to probably throw him into the deal and see. Ben, it's time for a change.
Yeah.
It's time for a change because he can't recover from this. The locker room won't recover from it. And so when they went to the Hacker Shack, basically, the Hacker Simmons, that just killed him. So that's him first. Let's get down to the real nitty-gritty of this, the whole thing. They gave away Game 5. See, first of all, you got to close that game out. We wouldn't be talking about Ben Simmons. They gonna all summer long. They're gonna point back to Game 5.
Series should be over.
It should have been over. They gave that game away, being up 20-something points, 15 or 16 going into the fourth quarter, and that killed them right there. I told everybody the series is over because now you can't recover. You gave Atlanta the confidence. See, when you get playing against a young team like the Hawks, you got to squash them when you can. You got to beat them when you can. When you let them get life, that was it. That game, that was it. That was the game that really hurt them. And then you get to the game 5, and they started down to end fouling Simmons. That just took him right out. Look at Game 6. He act like he wasn't into Game 6. Game 7, they carried over to Game 7. And so he has to now, I think, get with somebody in the summer to get his confidence back up. He has to get back into the gym.
But he needs to be somewhere else, you're saying?
Yeah, he's got to be somewhere else. So
it's over.
Because the locker room is over with. Yeah, people aren't going to trust him.
Locker room and the fans.
Yeah.
But Magic, can I ask you this?
It's over. You can't recover from this. So
you were always such a great teammate.
Go ahead, Jay.
Magic,
Go ahead,
right?
Jay.
I'm sorry.
No,
you were always such a great teammate. Like, I saw the way in critical moments how you would build players up around you because you knew that confidence was imperative, right? Like, so then I'm watching the end of the game, and I get it. Everybody's frustrated. But Joel Embiid says, I don't know how to say it, but I thought the turning point was when he had an open shot. We had an open shot. We missed, and we made one free throw. Like, it almost feels like where's the, hey, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. It feels like a lot of the shift then goes even internally on Ben Simmons. And I get it. He could have shot the ball. But, like, I don't like the fact that it all goes on Ben Simmons when they could have closed out Game 5 and Game 6.
Well, that's why I said first we got to look at Game 5, right, Jay? And then you already know Philadelphia love the Sixers, man. The fans, you know, right now on talk radio who they're pointing at, and so, and Jay, you and I know playing the point guard position, brother, that we have to be the leaders, right? We have to step up. And so he's a soft leader in terms of soft-spoken. And if you don't deliver during crunch time, Jay, the finger's going to get pointed. It's like playing the quarterback position in the NFL. You know, if the team lose, they're going to point at the quarterback, right? So they're going to point the fingers at Ben Simmons. So to me, Jay, I said from the very beginning, losing Game 5 If they would have won Game 5, that probably would have gave him the confidence that he needed. But give Coach McMillan a lot of credit, and I'm so happy. First of all, let me go to this because I couldn't wait to get on the show. They should fire the president and the GM at the Indiana Pacers. See, they pointed the finger at Rick McMillan that it was his fault that they didn't get out the first round. They hired this dude.
To fire him
in 1 year. In 1 year.
And the team imploded.
Yes. So whose fault is it now? The owner got to look up and say, man, you know what? I think you two are the two guys that are the problem. And I'm so happy that Nate is advancing. Mm-hmm. He showed everybody he could coach because everybody wouldn't have thought about, let me just foul Ben Simmons all the time in the fourth quarter, send him to the line. And once he missed those first couple, he just kept fouling him, and he had no confidence. So, again, Jay, I think you're right. It's not all Ben Simmons. And also, too, Danny Green hurt that situation too, Jay. If Danny Green was playing, I think he would have helped Ben a lot, right? But when Danny Green got hurt, he didn't have that veteran sitting there lifting him up, giving him the confidence. Byron Scott, I remember when we played the Celtics, and a couple of games he wasn't hitting his shot, right? But we needed Byron to win.
Yeah.
So, man, I would cuddle Byron, man. Come on, man. You're going to have a good game in Boston Garden. We need you.
Pumping his tires.
So I was pumping him up. Man, he came out and scored, 27 points that game. We ended up winning in Boston Garden.
So he needed a good corner man. He didn't have one. He didn't have his guy. Like, he didn't have somebody in his ear on this team. And maybe the fresh start is the best thing for him. Yep. And we'll see.
Lakers.
What a big trade that would be. Oh, well, we can talk about the Lakers coming up next because we do have Magic Johnson here in studio for a little bit longer. And the question we'll ask him coming up next is, can the Lakers win another title with LeBron? That's next. Stay with us.